test here. Testing to go live. Let's see what happens. Testing 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. See if we're live indeed. Just want to see how this works. Make sure that I can go live for tomorrow. See what type of restrictions we have. Oh, let's see. Okay, browser not working on Internet Explorer. Interesting. Good to know. Let's try in Firefox. See how this goes. Alright, so don't use Internet Explorer. Let's go with Firefox. Let's look at the audio. Test the audio here.
Colonoscopy. In your experience, what should I be expecting in terms of sensation or emotions?
So, if I were to say, never done a live video before, so I'll figure out how to direct people to the live stream and see what happens. Looks like okay, live now. Click on it. And there it is. Okay. Test the delay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test the delay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so about a 5-second delay or so. It's no problem. We can work with that. This is gonna work. Let's just test the audio. Okay, audio is about 50%. Pretty close right now. Pretty close to me where it's at.
Okay. Jim, you want to hit the conference room? Sure.
Good luck.
What else should we test here?
I remember now.
Just gonna mute
It's okay. He's gonna want in.
this audio here.
It's okay, Michael. We got it. Really?
It's not bad.
All right. Do you mind if I sit this out? I have so much work to do. I feel like I'm going to blow my brains out.
Ooh, only 720. That's not good. If I can get that video better. Some weird effects here.
Am I worried that Jim
No
and
idea what
David
any
are
of this
having a
is.
meeting without me? No.
8mm is pretty cool.
The three amigos.
It's a pretty cool
And
one
once in
right
a while,
there.
one of the amigos will go off.
So again, just
the
testing
bathroom
the audio, testing so that when I watch this movie tomorrow, we'll see how well the audio and video will come out.
Okay, it's just 3 or
It's
4
horrible.
steps, but thank you.
I think just the regular. I think we'll just go with, I do like 8mm, that's pretty cool. But I think for this purpose, we'll just go with just normal.
I don't know.
You said good luck to Jim as you walked in.
Did I? Doesn't sound like me.
Let's see.
Very superstitious.
Got some. Looks like there's a live chat. I wonder if you have to be signed
Lying to
in
me right now,
to look
Pam,
at the
your
live
baby is
chat.
going to come out a liar.
This is pretty cool.
That's
I'll
how it
have
works.
to do this from my phone.
hear things from
Hopefully, I'll
breast
try to keep it
Please
back a
don't
little
talk about
bit.
my
So,
breast milk.
I just don't want you to lie to me.
Got a
I don't
sneeze.
want you to ever lie to me. Have I ever lied to you?
Yeah.
I just don't want you to.
I was rushing to fill an order.
Go ahead and show you
Put
this.
the ladder up to grab a box of 3 holes on the top shelf. Next thing I know, I'm on the
Cool.
ground. Ladder's on top of me.
That's how you broke your ankle?
Yes.
Like that.
Interesting.
Like that.
How did the ladder
Looks
end up
good.
on top of you?
What's going on, Joe?
It's not concerning you, man. You need to walk away.
Joe.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I thought this was a free country. I didn't know we were in communist Sweden.
Yeah,
If
this
we
is
were
good.
living in Sweden, I wouldn't have to worry about this because we have universal health care.
That's not okay. Be
Let's
quiet. I'm
see.
talking. I will.
Everything looks good. Looks good.
Bill, the better.
I think this is gonna work. So I wonder if I take this live
Come on, Daryl. Feel better.
in here.
He's lying. He has a doctor, Bill. Dr. J.
Yeah, me too. I hope I can figure this out. Go ahead. You want to answer? If you want to ask a question,
My street fell off
I'll
the
answer.
ladder painting a fountain.
There's a short delay on this, but I'll definitely answer any questions or anything we have here.
Y'all have a birthday
So
cake?
hopefully I can figure this out.
How many foremen do you know?
Looks okay so far. I like it. I did watch the um,
Well, we did a little.
Silver Lining episode with David Crowley. Just finished that. Thought it was good. Thought there was a lot of good stuff in there. So
I'm a fan of the hard-boiled detective film.
let's see. My battery's dying. One of the things I really want to see is how much time we have. Yeah, it was really cool. I really did like it. It was interesting. Some of the things I heard Sean Wright said were kind of ironic considering everything now. You can almost take those words and just, yeah, they would make sense right now. So. Let's see, this Illuminati who drives to Bohemian Grove, why they have old cars. Yeah, why do they have old cars? That's awesome. I think some of them do have newer cars. I've seen some Ferrari, no, maybe not a Ferrari, but we do see a few of the newer cars. And we're usually only there maybe 1 or 2 days, at least publicly. We might scout out the place, scout out Bohemian Grove ahead of time. And every year we try to scout it out more. And every year something weird always happens. So that's a good question because a lot of the cars that we see, I think a lot of the cars that we see at Bohemian Grove are actually people that work there. I think a lot of the more rich and famous people or whatever, just rich people, they get taxied in. Maybe taxi's not the right word. They have those Lincoln Town cars that come in the TCP. We see a lot of that. So I think a lot of people are getting they either fly in, I think they might fly in from the local Santa Rosa airport, or they're coming from San Francisco, or they fly in from Oakland, possibly from San Jose. I doubt it. That's kind of far. So it is a good question why a lot of them do have old cars. I think some of the rumors that I've heard, Patriota PL, some of the rumors that I've heard is that the Bohemian Grove is not what it used to be, and it's not as popular, not as elite as it used to be. I don't know if that's true or not, so I'm just guessing here. But last year or this year, we saw a lot of cars there, but not too many brand new cars. So maybe that's a lot. Maybe that's because a lot of people are flying in. They're not necessarily driving from San Francisco or from California even. So maybe they just rent cars or get driven in. That's what I would think. So I hope that answers that question. If that makes sense. Kind of sweaty. Let's see. Have this Illuminati satanic symbols on T-shirts? Do they have satanic symbols on T-shirts or tattoos? Is that what you're saying? Um, Generally, we get a lot of people who are just making fun of us, asking questions, and I think one year we even had some people saying praise Moloch or saying something positive about Moloch. So how's my audio too? If like I'd love to see how this audio is. I have a very soft voice, so I'm gonna try to speak up tomorrow if I can, especially if the audio is coming out really low. I want it to be able to be okay. It's clear? Okay, awesome. I'll try to be close. Probably won't be as close as I am right now, so I'll keep the chat open in case tomorrow I need to kind of speak up a little bit. Please let me know, and I'll definitely try to. But we'll be back here tomorrow at 6 p.m. We'll watch The Gray State, a Gray State documentary. Watch it live. I'll pause it when I have thoughts or when I have questions or when I want to write down something. But generally, I'm just going to go through it and just go straight. Let's see, in Poland, we also have a lot of Illuminatis. The sad truth is, yeah, I think what I'm learning also about Bohemian Grove is that Bohemian Grove is like there's many places that are just like Bohemian Grove. So maybe Bohemian Grove is not as elitist as we see. So okay, yeah. Let me know what your view is after watching it a second time. I was even thinking for a gray state after I do this live stream tomorrow night that maybe I'll do a alternative commentary. I've seen this done with other wrestling podcasts where they have an alternative commentary where you can turn on the film, turn the volume down, and you can listen to it in an alternative commentary. So I'll see if if that's even worth it. We'll see if that's a good idea or not. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of people that are asking more questions. I think that's one of the best things that could happen. What I'm really hoping is that I watch this movie tomorrow night, and it changes my view on this. I really hope that we find something, that we find some proof that David Crowley is guilty. Um, Speaking of the Illuminati, Patriota, I don't know if you know anything about the David Crowley case or if you've heard about the David Crowley case, but one of the strangest things about the David Crowley case is that he had a Bohemian Grove statue in his house. So I thought that was kind of weird. Still trying to figure out what that was doing. Um, did I have a conflict or problems with Illuminati's? Not personally. No, I mean, there's always people who try to make us have fear. They really want to make us fearful because they get power from, or they think they get power from spreading fear. So, but it only works if we choose to let it work. So we can't be fearful of these people. And I think the Illuminati, I think it's a very broad term. It's kind of like, it's just my view. It's kind of like saying the New World Order. Well, what does that really mean? Or saying the global government or the government. When we look at our governments, there's many different groups, many different cliques, and I think that's what we see at the Bohemian Grove. I do still think that the Bohemian Grove is some kind of a golf course for people who want to have power. And I don't think it's a coincidence that it happens right after Bilderberg either. I think it's all tied in. But I think that there's many Bohemian Groves across the world. It sounds like you have something like that in Poland. I would be curious to figure out, maybe you could leave a link if you have any links of where I can learn more about what is happening over there in Poland, because it does seem to be happening everywhere. We see that stuff everywhere. So I'm very curious about what is going on. But again, we're just testing here. I just really wanted to make sure that this video is going to work, and see if it takes up space on my phone or how this whole live thing works. So let's see. In my opinion, the people doesn't look like normal. They have something strange and creepy, like the Soros. So you're talking about George Soros? Yeah, I think there are a lot of strange people do show up there at the Bohemian Grove. I think we do get a lot of sneers, but we've run into some nice people too. I do think there are people there that don't really understand what is going on there. Um, or don't have any idea about the cremation of care and some of the strange things that are going on. Whether the cremation of care is really a satanic ritual or whether it's just a play, some grove play that has been happening. It is happening, and to me, it is weird. It does look weird to me, like with druids and stuff like that. So we do see some strange people. The security guards that we talked to this year, they did seem like they were expecting violence. They were expecting some violent protesters to show up, and I'm glad that none did, because we're not going to put up with that. We're not going to put up with violent protesters, people showing up purposely to start stuff and to make us look bad when we're just trying to engage in real conversations with the Bohemian Grove members. Every year, at least one of them does engage us, and we do get to chat with them. So I don't know if you've seen the Bohemian Grove 2017 video, but we did speak with a member, a guy who's been there for 20 years, and he was nice. I was asking him about Donald Trump, if Donald Trump is there, because we know, the presidents go there. And I asked him, one of the other things I wanted to know was it just Republicans that are going to the Bohemian Grove, or are there Democrats too? So it does seem like there are both that are going there. So I thought it was strange. Um, so I mean, and then it's also what is normal, because I'm sure some people might look at me and think, well, you're not normal. What do you who are you? So I guess it's all what everybody's view is of what normal is. Let's see. By us, there are a lot of Soros foundations. Okay, I'll have to look up that Fundisha Butter. I can't pronounce that, but I will look that up. They fight with people who fight against the Islamization of Europe. A lot of liberal politics from ex-government was Illuminati's. I think California is similar. California is just is there's a lot of weird things happening with the Antifa and the Black Lives Matter and all of these different groups that claim to be peaceful and really just look like socialists and communists and people that claim to want freedom and peace, but they don't. Their actions don't show freedom. They don't show peace. They show violence. Usually, they show games. They show disinformation. So that's what I see a lot, and you see it in Berkeley a lot too, in San Francisco. So you gotta be careful when you go to those places. Always best to travel in packs. Always best to keep your cameras on, keep your microphones on, film everything, because you just never know what these people will do. So all we have to do is just document it. And as a Christian, as a believer in Jesus Christ, I'm not worried about this. I don't fear this. I don't fear these people. These people can't do anything to us. They really can't. They kill the body, but they cannot kill our soul. So to me, that's the most important thing. The soul does not belong to us. So let's see. When I hear America or USA, then on my mind are Jews, Illuminati, hamburgers, and credits. Well, that's funny. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of Poland's and a lot of Christians in Poland. Sorry. I think as a Christian, for me, it's very important to recognize that I believe as a Christian that the Bible is true. We all came from one man and one woman. So I don't get into the whole race thing generally, into the Jews and these people, those people. I really try to see people as an individual. So I try not to just judge them, because of their race or because of any of that stuff, or even what they think, or even if they're not Christian, or even if they are. Because we can say that we are, it doesn't mean that we really are. Only God knows for sure that we really are. So, what are your thoughts on the Gray State documentary? Nicole, if you want to join us tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be doing a live stream just like this where I'm going to be watching the Gray State documentary. So I have not seen it myself. Tomorrow night I will see it. I will watch it. I'll be streaming live here so that way I can give you my comments live, like in real time, for me seeing it for the very first time. And what I'm hoping is that this movie will change my mind. I'm hoping that I will find something to prove David Crowley is guilty, because that's where I started. I started with giving the police the benefit of the doubt, and now they're making it really hard because they have no proof. They really have nothing. I was interviewed for this movie, and I heard that I think a lot of people were too, and I think a lot of people were cut out. So they spent a lot of time interviewing people. I felt like I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt for this documentary, that they were going to show some of the strange things that the police brought up, some of the strange things that were mentioned, and I felt like the police did not do that. And I felt like this documentary, from what I've heard, because I have interviewed, I have spoken with many people who have seen this, and it all comes back to the same thing. Well, it doesn't cover that. It does not cover a lot of the strange things that the police did or didn't do. It doesn't cover how quickly the police jumped the gun and how they missed a bullet hole right above their head. So there's so many, we could go on and on and on about what they don't cover. So hopefully join us tomorrow night and we will go through it together. And I'm curious to hear other people's views. So if you have seen it, I'd love to hear what you think about it too. Let's see. In my mind, When I think in a house of Illuminati are satanic symbols and really creepy stuff, what do you think? Yeah, again, the Illuminati, I mean, if we're talking about Satanists, if we're talking about devil worshippers, that's kind of where I would go. The Illuminati, I guess I would have to ask, and I've done some research about where all that started, and you can go back and back and back, and it seems like you can even go back to the very beginning, um, when the devil tempted Adam and Eve. And so that's how far back I would go. So when we're talking about the Illuminati, I would say we're talking about the devil. And yes, it is creepy. There are a lot of weird things, a lot of weird, strange, satanic things that are happening in this world that we continue to see. But if you look at it all, it's all based on fear. And I think the whole gray state thing is also based on fear. I think the Bohemian Grove too is based on fear. I think what happens, one of the things that happens at the Bohemian Grove is everybody gets drunk, everybody's partying. I think they could be put, the people who attend the Bohemian Grove could be put in a compromising spot. And I think that is where the Satanists get their power. And I think that is where the Illuminati get their power too. It's not real power, it's really just it's tricks, it's games, it's smoke and mirrors, it's fake magic, black magic, whatever you want to call it, but it's not truth. And I think that's why a lot of people see through it, and sounds like a lot of people in Poland see through it too. Um, let's see. Sad to say, it doesn't cover a lot. Okay, so the Gray State doesn't cover a lot of things, but does, like I said, give more than what is known. But I'm so sure there is so much more. I don't understand the reason to release, not to release at all. Yeah, I don't understand that either. I'm not sure why they don't release more, but oh, let's see. They should release more, and I think a real documentary on the Gray State will need to be made one day. One day it will have to be made. So I'm really looking forward to a real documentary that covers the real story here. The real story is, how did police prove David Crowley guilty? To me, that's the real story. That's always going to be what the real story is. And I don't think that, not having seen the movie, I don't think that the movie is going to prove that. From what I've heard, from what everybody is saying, I think if it did, there'd be a lot more people out there saying that it does, and they'd be showing us why. Now, when people learned about the documentary, that's what they made it sound like. They really made it sound like it was going to, that the movie was going to prove everything, and it was going to show us why David Crowley was guilty. So it sounds like once again they're gonna fail at that. The only reason I can think of why it doesn't is because they can't prove it, and I think maybe halfway through filming this thing, maybe Eric Nelson realized that that could not be proven. Why he cut out so much of mine and Dan's stuff is also another thing, because I thought we really tried to talk about the police case and the real facts here. And so it was sad when you look at, well, this is a real serious thing, and they were not covering it so much. So let's see. It's good everybody knows what the Illuminati is. It's like Coca-Cola. Yeah, I think that's true almost worldwide now. I would think, even if people don't believe in it, um, it has become like a household name that everybody has maybe their own view of what the Illuminati is, but I think a lot of people, just about everybody, has probably heard that term somewhere or knows somebody who has heard that term. So that's good. Now it's just about, okay, who are they? Where did they come from? Did it really start with Adam Weishaupt, I believe his name was? Did it really start there? Was that the first time that they got caught because they had documents? So, I mean, how far back does this go? The Knights of Templar, but like I said, I think it goes all the way back to the devil, to the beginning of time. Okay, um, are they ashamed that we know that they are idiots when we see his pictures and videos? I think they are ashamed. They are ashamed, and I think it makes them angry. It makes them fearful, And I think that's why they tend to come after people however they can, because they want people to be as miserable as they are. And okay, for the cars and the license plates, yeah, I mean, I generally don't put the license plate numbers in these videos. I also don't film the workers, the underage children, kids that work there, not children, but the people that work there. I try not to film them either. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I hope you'll join us tomorrow night and we will continue to discuss this. But I really appreciate everybody for coming on and with this test and just helping me kind of run through this. I'm going to play this back and I'll see you tomorrow. God bless you all.